Hello there. Welcome to another talk. Welcome to another meditation. And today's talk is called I Am Loving Awareness. And, loving awareness is essentially what you are becoming more and more. Once you get that big spiritual awakening, you go through this path of healing, inner work, inner healing, and what you're healing is family generational curses. You're healing stuff within your psyche, which is related to past lives. And in this healing process, you are ascending and your DNA is changing. It doesn't even matter if you're in a family with hereditary illnesses. Like I'm in a family like that, but I'm 35 my birthday and I'm not showing any signs of illness. And, family members, certain family members at my age by now were getting very ill. And that's because ultimately the spiritual awakening, it changed the whole course of my life. And I am becoming more and more loving awareness. And, your DNA and who or what you are, it's an energy field. And it's dependent on the type of awareness you are, subconsciously. So what the spiritual awakening is doing, it's like hypnosis. It's basic hypnosis accesses the subconscious, the psyche. And that's what spiritual awakening does. And that's why I won't, I'm my mum's registered carer, loads of chronic illnesses and blindness, this, that, the other. But when she was my age, she was getting ill. And other family members as well. But it's like what I say, the spiritual awakening at age 24, if it would have been 10 years after that, probably too late. So you've got to, awaken quite early in order to change the course of your life. I used to be a compulsive liar. I didn't lie to get people into trouble or anything like that, but I would tell, like, my grandmother would call it white lies. But I just couldn't help it, and that's another family trait. It's more of a mental trait, that. And the spiritual awakening got me out of that. It was like, as soon as I had the big spiritual awakening, this higher self-power that was now, leading the way, it wasn't allowing certain behaviors anymore. It wasn't allowing lying. It was like it's like an authentic power, and it's absolute heart-based, absolute truth, and that's how you heal. And this is related to loving awareness. That's how you become loving awareness. You have to go, on this path of authenticity. That's the only way you heal. And people don't like it when you become the truth, because they aren't the truth. And that's why a lot of people don't like it. They'll get offended because they're snowflakes, and that's why they will end up with illnesses, or that's why they will have illnesses. Ascension, how you ascend is very easy. You just be heart-based. You be honest. And that's how I manifested my own spiritual awakening. I had enough one day and went within myself and decided to go within, and then went through this journey. And that's, and ever since then it's been within work. I'm healing like I say, family generational curses and hereditary illness. And it's like the other day I saw a picture of myself a year ago and a picture now. I look young, so much younger. And that's just a year on this journey. You see, and that's it. And that's why people age a lot more, is because there's so much baggage within their psyche. And that's how they get ill. Because it's actually, you can look this up, German New Medicine proved how traumas in the psyche manifest sickness and illness. Because it's too much baggage within your psyche. It's going to eventually do something to the body, because the whole system is controlled via your brain. So if you got lots of trauma in your psyche, it's going to have an effect on the body. So that's why this pathway, this meditation, spiritual ascension, all this stuff is so important. Everything else is a distraction. Everything in the world is a distraction away from this inner pathway. Quite a few years ago, before the COVID or anything like that, I actually predicted, and I put it on Twitter, and someone a few years ago reminded me of it as well. I put that they would lock everyone down. I used that word, lockdown. And I said, why? I said, because of the spiritual awakening. Because the people at the very top know about this. You see? Everything is just a distraction away from this spiritual awakening path. That's why I stopped talking about political things. I'm not political anyway. And, I had the spiritual awakening. I don't get information downloads on like diseases or anything like that. I get information downloads on healing, on ascension, on twin flames, all the stuff I talk about now. And so that's why I went back to that. And so the journey is all about becoming loving awareness. I realized that all the stuff that you see is just a distraction from that. What they don't want is ascended people, there's videos on the internet of women having energy orgasms. People with their twin flames. This is what they're scared of. People actually manifesting millions of pounds or dollars or more through spirituality, and ended up with their twin flame, or becoming tantric awareness, kundalini. All this stuff is too attractive. The system cannot compete with that. And that's why everything that's happening in the world is happening the way it is. But ultimately, what people call God is in control. Everything arises from God. And ultimately the ascension path is returning to God, and all the bad people that you see are just characters in the movie/dream. It's a movie/dream/ simulation. Computer game. And the ascension awakening path is returning to loving awareness. It's like that, what David Icke says years ago, and it's kind of like, saying infinite love is the only truth, everything else is an illusion. And that is the only truth. Everything, apart from that is just nonsensical. But the one thing that does exist is this infinite love. It's a bit like that movie, Love Actually. At the end of the movie, when Hugh Grant is saying that that love is always there, and that is the only thing that's real. But the love I'm talking about is the love that is accessed as you ascend, as you heal, and it's a love where you're letting go, you're embracing solitude. It's not a love where you meet some loving romantic partner. This is a love where it's a peaceful love. It's this love is within yourself. But to find this love, you've really got to embrace solitude. And this love is what is loving awareness. The title of this talk came from a guy called Ram Dass, and I heard one of his talks, and he was saying, loving awareness. And so I thought that's ultimately what you're becoming. So I decided to make a talk about that, and that's one of my self-suggestions now, because it's true. That's what you're becoming when you're ascending. That's ultimately what you're doing on the inner journey. But this loving awareness that I'm talking about, it's a lot deeper a love than just a romantic love. And a good metaphor for that kind of love is probably a mother and child. That's probably a good example. And imagine the earth and nature is the mother and you are the child. You see? And it's like the frequency of nature in general is loving awareness. That's why people in nature, they'll feel a lot calmer. That's that loving awareness. It's a harmonious love. It's a peaceful love. It's like all problems are gone. You see? But these problems being gone, it's about the inner healing journey. So if you're feeling tired, drained, it's all part of the journey. What I'm like on here, I'm a bit like a news reporter. I'm just going through my ascension path, my awakening path, and I report it. And that's what I've had this spiritual awakening for. I'm given service. Same as I know that I'm my mum's registered carer because it's part of my pathway. It's service. We are here to serve. But back to this loving awareness. So it's all about living from your heart. When you start being heart-based, you'll have a different perspective. It's what started happening to me in this spiritual awakening. I remember being in a cafe early on in the awakening, a few years into it, and everything was becoming me in oneness. Like all one person, imagine. And it's all just reflections of the same you. And ultimately you get to realise that there is no you. It's like Deepak Chopra says, oneness means the one nothing. But within that nothing is this love, is this spark, you could say, life manifester, and which is God, and that's what you are. You're that power. And we are all that same infinite power. You see? Your nothingness, you're limitless, it's infinity. But the only true thing in that is the loving awareness. And if you let go of all that, you start to feel that love. When you let go of the attachment, you see. But I'm just going to leave it on that note. For latest updates, talks, news, songs, My new talk is always located at the top of my homepage on my website. My new song I do is always Lower Down. And lower down than that, I do a tarot reading every couple of days. And my website address is www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.